Have you ever thought that adding a few slices of beets to your salad or blending them into your morning smoothie was one of the safest and healthiest choices you could make? Most people believe so, and they are not wrong when they call beets a superfood. But the truth is far more complex. Inside that deep red skin, beets not only hold nutrition, but also conceal secrets that most of us have never uncovered. And if handled the wrong way, you may be losing much of their benefits, or worse, inviting risks without realizing it. International studies, including the work of Dr. Michael Greger, a globally recognized nutrition expert, have shown that natural nitrates in beets can expand blood vessels, support healthy blood pressure, improve circulation, and enhance brain power. The pigments called betanin not only give beets their rich color, but also act as antioxidants, protecting the liver, reducing inflammation, and even lowering the risk of cancer. That is why beets are often praised as one of nature's gifts for healthy aging. But this is just the beginning of the journey. Behind these seemingly obvious benefits lies a series of small mistakes that many people make. Mistakes that may look harmless, but turn beets from a healing food into something bland or even harmful over time. The question is not whether you should eat beets, but whether you are eating them the right way. Imagine someone blending beets into a smoothie every morning, only to discover that the way they prepare them actually spikes their blood sugar. Or someone else buying large bunches with enthusiasm, but storing them incorrectly so that within days, their nutrients quietly disappear. These scenarios happen more often than you might think. In this journey, we will uncover 10 things to avoid when eating beets, the common mistakes seniors must watch out for. Each mistake is like a curtain being slowly lifted, revealing the truth hidden within. And by the end, you will realize that the true power of beets does not come from eating more or less, but from how you treat them. Stay with me, because what you are about to discover may forever change the way you look at this humble red root. This is only the first door. The first mistake hides in plain sight in something most people do without a second thought. They peel the beet. Perhaps the skin looks rough or unappealing, so it feels natural to strip it away. But in doing so, you discard one of the most protective parts of the entire root. Just beneath that thin outer layer lie concentrated pigments called betanin, together with dietary fiber that slows the release of natural sugars into your bloodstream. When you remove the peel, you throw away antioxidants that shield your cells from damage and fibers that protect your heart and digestion. The skin, once softened through cooking, blends seamlessly with the flesh, and when scrubbed properly, it carries no harm, only benefit. To peel away the skin is to peel away strength. The second mistake is perhaps even more common. People cut off the leafy tops, toss them into the trash, and never look back. Yet beet greens are a hidden treasure, often more nutrient dense than spinach or kale. They hold vitamin K to keep calcium in your bones and out of your arteries. They hold magnesium, a mineral that calms the nervous system, supports muscle function, and regulates blood pressure, something nearly 60% of adults over 60 lack. They hold vitamin A for vision, vitamin C for immune defense, and iron to keep your blood strong. To discard the greens is to throw away a shield your body desperately needs, especially with age. Sautéed with olive oil and garlic, blended into soups, or added raw to salads, beet greens can quietly transform your meals into medicine. These first two mistakes may seem small, almost trivial. What difference can a skin or a handful of leaves really make? But often in life, it is the small daily choices that shape long-term health. By peeling away the skin or discarding the greens, you weaken the beet before it even reaches your plate. And once you know this, you cannot unknow it. Now let me ask you something. How do you usually eat your beets? Do you peel them? Do you save the greens? Or do you throw them away without a thought? Share your answer below, and along with it, leave your age and the country you are watching from. Because when we gather stories from every corner of the world, we remind ourselves that aging with vitality is not a local journey, but a global one. The third mistake is often made before the beet ever reaches your kitchen. You see them piled in the market, some vibrant and firm, others dull and wrinkled, and many people pick without thinking. Yet freshness is not cosmetic, it is the silent measure of life still pulsing within the root. A beet that is heavy, taut, and rich in color carries vitamin C to guard your immunity, folate to protect your brain, and potassium to steady your heartbeat. But once it begins to shrivel, these nutrients slip away. The deep red turns lifeless, the texture becomes woody, and what was once medicine becomes little more than fiber. For seniors, this loss is no small matter because every missing vitamin is one less shield against the wear of time. Choosing beets without care is not a small mistake. It is a decision to accept less than what your body deserves. The fourth mistake is more subtle, and it happens in your own home. It begins with good intentions, storing the beets in the fridge just as you do other vegetables. But if the leafy tops are left attached, they continue to draw moisture from the root, draining its vitality day by day. The crisp flesh softens the nutrients, fade, and soon the beet is tired long before you eat it. Storing beets also demands balance. Too much air and they wither, too much confinement and they mold. A cool, dark place, a breathable bag, greens removed but saved for later. This is the way to honor their strength. Even after cooking, storage matters. A beet left uncovered loses its sweetness and invites bacteria, while one carefully sealed in glass remains nourishing for days. These mistakes may sound like details, but age is built on details. A fresh beet chosen with care, a root stored with respect, can make the difference between food that heals and food that only fills. Think of it as a quiet discipline. Just as the body thrives on daily habits, the beet too holds its power only when treated with patience. And when that power is lost, it cannot be regained. The fifth mistake hides in the pot of water where so many beets end their journey. Boiling seems simple, safe, and familiar. Drop them in, let them soften, and the job is done. But boiling is not innocent. When a beet sits in rolling water, the very compounds that make it powerful slip silently into the liquid. Vitamin C, folate, and delicate antioxidants dissolve and drift away, poured down the drain without a second thought. What remains on your plate is softer in texture, but weaker in spirit. Many who have tasted only boiled beets describe them as bland, uninspiring, even forgettable, and then decide they do not enjoy this root at all. Yet it is not the beet that failed them, it is the method. Roasting unlocks its hidden sweetness, grilling gives it a smoky depth, steaming keeps its vibrancy intact, and raw preparation preserves it whole. To rely only on boiling is to silence a voice that could sing in many tones. The sixth mistake seems almost harmless, yet it shapes the way we experience food more than we realize. It is the mistake of cooking without salt. Fear of sodium has led many to banish it entirely, but in doing so, they strip away the very key that opens flavor and balance. A pinch of salt at the beginning does not harm, it transforms. It awakens the natural sweetness of the beet. It helps minerals like potassium and magnesium work more efficiently in the body, and it creates harmony with whatever ingredients you add later. Without salt, the beet tastes flat, and in search of satisfaction, people often reach for sugar syrups or heavy dressings that undo its benefits. With just the right touch of salt, the beet needs no disguise. It speaks with its own voice, earthy and sweet, strong yet gentle. These two mistakes remind us that food is not only about what we eat, but how we prepare it. Heat can be a thief or an ally. Flavor can be muted or unlocked. When we choose carelessly, we diminish what nature has given. But when we choose with intention, even a humble beet can arrive at the table carrying its full measure of strength. The seventh mistake happens in a single careless motion, one that many people repeat without thought. The can is opened, the crimson liquid rushes out, and it is poured straight into the sink. Most believe it is nothing more than tinted water, but that red stream is rich with the very compounds that give beets their reputation as a superfood. Betanin, the pigment that defends your cells against oxidative stress, flows away. Potassium, folate, magnesium all dissolve in that liquid, leaving the root weaker than before. For seniors who often need these very minerals to steady their heart, strengthen their bones, and protect their circulation, this is not a small loss. It is like throwing away a free medicine hidden in plain sight. That liquid can enrich soups, deepen smoothies, even brighten salad dressings. To waste it is to waste a gift. The eighth mistake is quieter, but it lingers on the tongue. Many who taste beets from a can describe a faint metallic shadow that masks their natural sweetness. It is not imagination, but chemistry. During storage, trace elements from the container interact with the pigments in the beet, dulling its flavor and discouraging people from eating it again. What should be vibrant becomes weary, and the beet is blamed for something it did not cause. The fix is simple yet rarely done. Drop the canned beets into gently boiling water for a single minute. Let them release what does not belong, and suddenly the true flavor returns. The earthy sweetness emerges again, free from bitterness, ready to be enjoyed. This small ritual restores trust between food and eater, reminding us that preparation can redeem what seems flawed. These mistakes teach a deeper truth. It is not always in the root itself that we lose the benefit, but in how we treat what surrounds it. The liquid we dismiss as waste, the flavor we ignore as unavoidable, both hold the key to whether beets remain in our lives as allies or fade as disappointments. Aging with strength demands more than knowing what to eat. It demands the patience to see what is overlooked, to taste beyond the surface, and to honor even the smallest part of what nature provides. The ninth mistake is not about what we do, but about what we refuse to try. Too many people know beets only in one form, often boiled or hidden in a salad, and never think beyond it. But food, like life, was not meant to be lived in repetition. When you limit beets to a single preparation, you miss the many faces of their power. Roasted, they release a caramel sweetness that speaks of the earth itself. Grilled, they take on a smoky depth, transforming into something almost entirely new. Shredded raw, they bring a crunch that delivers every vitamin in its pure form. Even in desserts paired with dark chocolate, they reveal a richness that surprises and delights. To eat them one way only is to see them through a keyhole when a whole landscape lies outside. Seniors who crave both health and joy deserve the full spectrum, not just a single note played over and over. The 10th mistake comes after the meal, when the body rests but the food remains. Cooked beets are often left uncovered, stored in metal cans, or kept too long in the fridge. Slowly they lose their sweetness, their nutrients fade, and bacteria begin to take hold. What was once healing can quietly turn harmful. Proper care is simple yet vital. Once cooked, beets should be cooled, sealed in glass, and eaten within 5 days. If too many were prepared, they can be frozen, holding their strength for months. But neglected in the corner of a refrigerator, they become shadows of themselves, stripped of what once made them valuable. For older bodies more vulnerable to infection and less forgiving of mistakes, this is not a risk worth taking. These two errors seem distant from one another, yet together they reveal a single truth. Health is not only about nutrients, but about rhythm and respect. Variety keeps the body awake, nourished from many angles. Care ensures that nothing is lost in the hours after the cooking is done. A beet that is honored through many forms, a beet that is stored with patience, becomes a companion on the path of aging well. But a beet eaten only one way or kept carelessly after its moment has passed offers far less than it could. The choice, as always, is ours. We have walked through 10 mistakes, each one a small crack that can quietly weaken the gift of beets. From peeling away the skin, to discarding the greens, from choosing wrinkled roots, to storing them carelessly, from boiling away their sweetness, to cooking without salt, from wasting the crimson liquid in a can, to ignoring the metallic veil, from repeating one method endlessly, to forgetting the care needed after cooking. Each slip is common, almost ordinary, yet together they explain why so many people never feel the full strength this root was meant to give. The truth is simple, yet easily forgotten. Food is never only about nutrients on a chart, it is about relationship. How you treat the beet is how the beet will treat you. When you rush, you strip away its power. When you neglect it, you invite decay. But when you choose with attention, when you prepare with patience, when you honor even the smallest detail, you unlock what nature placed inside long before you were born. Nitrates that open your vessels, pigments that protect your cells, minerals that steady your heart, all of them wait for you to handle them wisely. For seniors, this truth matters more than ever. The body no longer forgives careless choices as it once did. The immune system listens closely to what you feed it. The heart beats longer or shorter depending on the minerals you guard or lose. The brain stays clear or grows cloudy depending on how much circulation you allow. Each beet is a chance to strengthen these systems or to weaken them. And in that choice, there is no middle ground. Think of your daily plate not as a routine, but as a message you send to your future self. If you peel away the skin, your future self receives less armor. If you waste the greens, your future self loses a shield for bones and arteries. If you store carelessly, your future self faces weakness instead of strength. But if you keep the skin, if you honor the greens, if you store with wisdom, if you vary your preparations, your future self receives vitality, energy, and resilience. The journey of aging is not about avoiding decline. It is about building renewal in every small act. Beets are only one example, yet they reveal the pattern hidden in all foods. Respect what is given, handle it with patience, and you will harvest more than flavor. You will harvest time itself. So now ask yourself one final question. When you hold a beet in your hand, will you treat it as just another root, or will you treat it as the key it truly is?